All right, logicians, this will be a short video. This is over Baronett chapter 1, section D. And it's really just to explain one point, one idea. Logical correctness is independent of the truth of the premises or even the conclusion of an argument. In other words, you can have an argument which is logically correct, even though all the premises are false and the conclusion is false. It can still be logically correct. On the other hand, you can have an argument where all the premises are true and it's still not logically correct. Now, why is that the case? Because logic, strictly speaking, has to do with the relationship between statements, not about whether the statements themselves are true. Logic tells you that, well, if X is true, then Y has got to follow from that. It doesn't tell you whether X is true. Now that's important, and that's going to be a part of the truth of the premises. It is going to be a part of how we evaluate an argument. But what it doesn't have to do with, what it's independent of, is the logical correctness, the structural, formal correctness of the argument. This will make more sense with examples. Okay, so let me give you a few. All right, this argument is logically correct. All men are mortal. Sasser's a man, therefore Sasser is mortal, going to die. Now, this is logically correct because if those premises are true, 1 and 2, if it's true that all men are mortal, and if it is true that Sasser's a man, then necessarily it follows that Sasser is going to die. You couldn't, it's impossible for 1 and 2 to be true and yet 3 to turn out to be false. Now, in this case, not only is the argument logically correct, but it's also sound. It's not only is it logically valid, but it's sound. That means the premises are true, and that means they necessitate the truth of the conclusion. It's true that all men are mortal. It's true that Sasser's a man. Therefore, it is true that Sasser is mortal. Some of you may celebrate that fact. I'm very comfortable with it. In any case, you could have a logically correct argument that is structurally, formally exactly the same as that last one, but where all of the premises are false and where the conclusion is false too. So check this out. Premise 1, all unicorns eat pixie dust. Premise 2, Sasser's a unicorn. Conclusion, therefore, Sasser eats pixie dust. Now, this is logically valid. It's logically correct because if 1 and 2 were true, the conclusion would have to be true necessarily. It doesn't matter that, in fact, the premises aren't true. I mean, the premises are false. Unicorns sometimes just graze on normal grass like other horses do. And also, I'm not a unicorn. So, and also, it's not true. I don't eat pixie dust. Although in my youth, they used to have pixie sticks. Maybe there still are such things, which are paper straws filled with raw sugar. Delicious. I have eaten those and enjoyed them. Here's the point. You could have a logically correct argument where the premises and the conclusion are all false. And then there's another possibility here too. You could have an argument where all the statements are true, but it's logically incorrect. The structure, the form, that doesn't makes it the case that even if the premises were true, the conclusion could turn out to be false. Here's the example. Premise 1, Greenville's in South Carolina. Premise 2, dogs are mammals. Conclusion, therefore, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. Now look, all that's true, but why is it that it's not logically correct? Here's why. Because the premises do not support the conclusion. They don't necessitate the conclusion. They don't even make it likely or probable. This doesn't work either as a deductive argument or as an inductive argument in neither case, because they don't support the conclusion. logical correctness is all about having the right kind of relationship between premises and conclusion. And there is no good intelligible relationship between these premises and the conclusion. It is logically incorrect. So here's the point. Logical correctness has nothing to do with whether the premises or even the conclusion are true or false. They have to do with the right kind of structural relationship between premises and conclusion.